Welcome to the Think Generational Wealth Podcast, episode number 39, and I'm your host, Amir Estimo. I know it's been a while since I've recorded a podcast, but I just want to record this episode really to update on the show. No, I have not given up. I know I've said it plenty of times that I want to be consistent with recording podcasts. It's something I enjoy doing. It's something I want to continue doing, is to be able to record a podcast and share knowledge, share things that I've learned, experiences in life that I've gone through. Also, the focus of being or growing generational wealth. So the name of the show is Think Generational Wealth. So if it's your first time tuning into this show, I know it's been a while since I've recorded. But again, if it's your first time listening to this show, that's actually great if it's your first time listening to this show, because now I can basically introduce the new season. Now I'm going on season 3 on this podcast, the show. And let's recap. So I recorded probably 38 episodes now. So now with the show, the changes that I've made is I have now went from, I used to be on Anchor, but just because I wanted to get more clarity, more insight on how the show is performing, I've moved to Buzzsprout. Disclaimer, just to let you know, I'm not an affiliate with Buzzsprout, sorry. So there's no commission involved. I'm just telling you this is what I have done now with the show. I have moved the show now to Buzzsprout. Also, funny thing was, I actually recorded, my last episode was episode 39. I recorded on Anchor, but apparently it didn't get distributed. So now I'm on Buzzsprout recording this episode. And so far I like it. This is actually the first episode that I will be uploading to Buzzsprout, and also just be able to share information of what, so far what I've seen with Buzzsprout. It's a really good show. It's a really good hosting site. So it's not like Anchor where you get to actually do the recording and it's also the hosting. So everything is pretty much housed in Anchor. You can use your phone to record. You can record on a computer. The only difference is on a computer, you can record at 30 minutes. Currently right now, I'm recording on Audacity, or however you say it. It's AUDACITY. And then now I'm going to upload this episode. So this episode now will be distributed on Buzzsprout. So again, I'm not an affiliate of Buzzsprout. I'm just saying this is the changes that I've made. The show now will be, I used to release an episode every Friday, but now I'm moving to show on Wednesdays. So beginning next week, I could probably say, let's see, the 31st is Monday. This show has been recorded on Tuesday. Beginning June 2nd, I'm sorry, I'm jumping ahead. June 2nd, the show now will be distributed every Wednesday. And the reason for the change is that Fridays, generally, depending who you are, if you're an avid podcaster, sometimes I feel like with the Think Generational Wealth, the traffic, I can honestly say I had a fear. And the reason that I chose Fridays originally was because I had a fear of going against the competition. Because one thing is, before I noticed, I used to release episodes probably at first pretty. I used to just do it periodically. I never really had a set date I was doing it. But podcasting, it takes a lot. You gotta be committed to the content. You gotta be committed to coming up with content almost every single week. And when life gets in your way, sometimes you have to just kind of take a break back and take a step back. So one thing, I got a mentor to help me really, the advice he gave me. He says most of the time people enjoy podcasting they enjoy listening to podcasts early in the week. So if you have somebody, for example, I would like to give a shout out to Jay Jones, the Black Entrepreneur Podcast, Black Entrepreneur Blueprint Podcast. Check out Jay Jones. Really good guy. He's helped me kind of get some clarity, and he mentioned that most of the traffic you're getting is early in the week. For example, his podcast is called the Black Entrepreneur Blueprint. He wants to target his message to people who are going to their work Monday morning, coming off for a weekend, then you got to go to work, so you hate your job. So therefore, that's the message those are the people he want to talk to. And for me, I said, yeah, that makes sense. And Fridays, people generally checked out, especially if they have a job, they checked out. They're not really trying to listen to podcasts on the weekends. So I took that in consideration. And Wednesday, I enjoy Wednesdays because Wednesdays, especially if you're in the corporate world, it's like a day off. It's a break. So for me, I said, okay, Wednesdays would be great. So now I'm going to release this podcast every Wednesday. We're going to move this show to every Wednesday. The concept of the show: wealth, assets, and prosperity. The acronym is WAP, right? Not the WAP that everyone else is thinking. Cardi B and I forgot her name. Meg Thee Stallion, I guess that's her name. Not that type of WAP. We're talking about WAP: wealth, assets, and prosperity. I believe for building generational wealth, you need to have some type of wealth, invest in some type of wealth, whether it's real estate, stock market. Now it's crypto. Crypto is the hottest thing right now these days. I don't know if you guys have some crypto, but mine, man, I was on Dogecoin, and I basically had 100% return on my profit, and that thing shot down I'm probably down like almost 60% in Doge right now. So, I'm a long-term investor. So that doesn't bother me, because I think sometimes, I'm sorry to go off on a tangent, but I just want to talk about my experience. I don't know if anybody else has been going through this, especially with Dogecoin. Is I jumped in when it was about probably 0.20, something like that, or 0.1, and my profit shot. I told a couple people around me and said, hey man, you should invest into Dogecoin. And everybody was getting some good returns. Maybe I should have cashed out. But I think that's the thing about people sometimes, is that you have to be really mindful of the fact that when you're investing, you don't want to become a gambler, because there's a very thin line between gambling and investing. So people who probably already cashed out, they were gambling. And I'm in it for the long term because I believe in cryptocurrency. I believe crypto is here to stay, especially with all these other cryptos they're coming out with now. I mean, obviously it's Bitcoin, Ethereum, and then the rest, however, Litecoin and all this other type of crypto. But I'm in it for the long term. So currently I'm on Ethereum, Bitcoin, and I also have Dogecoin. And if you read the latest, follow Elon Musk on Twitter, and he's heavily mentioned that he's investing into Dogecoin. So that's going to be a good thing. But I'm in it for the long term. I believe cryptocurrency is here to stay. I'm actually going to record an episode. My next episode I'm going to record is going to be about Bitcoin. What is Bitcoin? I know there's a lot of information out there. Trust me, I already know it. Cryptocurrency, there's a lot. You could probably just go on the internet. But I just think for people who just wants to have an understanding, because like me, I'm still trying to understand it myself. I'm still learning about it. It's a very volatile. I've heard about crypto, probably Bitcoin. I remember in Bitcoin, I had a friend of mine who was talking to me about Bitcoin since 2017, but I didn't jump into it. Now one Bitcoin's like $54,000 or something like that. So that's one, sometimes you miss the boat. But I think the more information we can disseminate out there, not everybody, I know, understand it's the hottest thing, but not everybody understands what it is. So I will record an episode. Actually, my next episode is going to be about cryptocurrency. So if you have no clue what cryptocurrency is, I'm going to do an episode on cryptocurrency. So let's see, we talked about the type of ways to build wealth: real estate, stocks, obviously, crypto, starting your own business. There's plenty of ways you can build wealth. For me, I just started an LLC on a new company I'm building right now, a financial services company. So that's why now I'm gearing towards this podcast, towards the concept of wealth, assets, and prosperity. So when you think of wealth, you think of your assets. To have wealth could be your health. Your health is your wealth too. If you're not healthy, you can't grow wealth. So keep that in mind. Assets and prosperity. You got to prosper. When you gain all this wealth, there's prosperity into it. So that's why I'm changing the tagline of this show is wealth, assets, prosperity. That's what I want to focus on. So I'll record some episodes we'll talk about crypto. We'll talk about stocks. We'll talk about real estate. We'll talk about building a business, entrepreneurship. So I know, again, there's a lot of that out there. We'll talk about credit repair. So I'm into the credit repair space. Notary. I'm into the notary space now. Technology. We're talking a little bit about technology. And I think technology is great, whether it's social media, ad management. So that you guys get an idea. There's different topics that I will discuss on the show. I would like to bring more guests. I'm working on that. I will be bringing more guests onto the show. I would like to probably from this point out, there's 52 weeks in a year. Probably I would say I would like to do 32-20 type of deal where I do 32 solo episodes and bring some guests on. So I'm working on that. My goal is to bring a guest within the next few months onto the show. So you guys we will discuss that. We will have a guest onto the show. And, bring somebody we can leverage who's already doing it. People who's already doing it, doing a great job. They're already in the niche. They could come in here and explain a little bit more. But that's the gist of the show. The show is really going to focus on finance and basically credit repair, insurance, like life insurance, annuities, all these. Sometimes I may just come on the show and just explain what annuity is, because not everybody understands that. Sometimes we may have it in our mind that people understand something, but they don't have that. Maybe they don't spend time researching it or spending any time to learn to educate it. They just hear it or somebody else tell them, but they don't have a clear view of what it is. So I'll even come in here and talk about that. I'll come in here and talk about life insurance. I'm sorry, folks, if you hear my dog is barking in the background. So this teaches me not to record an episode when you have family around. So yeah, but I just wanted to record this episode. Just short episode. The show is probably, I'm gonna keep it around the 20-25 minute range. That's my goal. I may have some information to disseminate where it may take a little longer, but the whole goal is to teach and share knowledge. This is what this is all about. That's what this show is about. Teach and share knowledge. I enjoy teaching. Whether it's an experience I'm going through or have gone through, I would like to share more of that. And listen, I'm no expert. I'm learning just like you guys. I consider myself a student. Sometimes there's not, even when you think you're good, you still can be great. And as an expert, you still can learn. And there's somebody else that's doing something that I can learn. That you're never too old to learn. The only time you stop learning is the day you die. So I'm a firm believer in that. So this is where we're going with the episode. This is where we're going with the show now. Is we're going to talk a lot about personal finance and investments in real estate, which is, all that wealth, assets, and prosperity. So we'll have some episodes where it'll be about mindset. I want you to be able to come in when you listen to this show, to be able to leave and hopefully you learn something, because that's my intention. That's my goal, is for people to learn, because I like to learn. So therefore, that's the whole point of this show. Now, if I'm not doing that, at least for feedback, rate and review the podcast. I got a new logo. You'll see it. Let me know what you guys think about that logo. I'd like to hear that. So hit me up at ThinkGen Wealth. Also, you can hit me up on Instagram at ThinkGen Wealth. My goal now is to grow this Instagram. So it's going to be a lot, because the fact that I want to really grow this brand, ThinkGen Wealth, Think Generational Wealth, Think Generational Wealth, same thing to me. But I want us to, you especially, hopefully I'm helping while you're listening, and there's value from every episode. Okay? So now, just to recap, you guys going to catch the show now, beginning June 2nd. That's a Wednesday. You guys can begin catching this show on Wednesdays now. So every Wednesday, the show will be released. The new concept of the show is wealth, assets, and prosperity. That's the tagline of the show. So now you know what you're going to get. And then from there on, tune in every week. That's my goal, is to every week drop a new episode. One thing I'd like to share with you guys is, on this episode, one thing I'd like to share is spend time with your family. Spend time with your kids. Get to know these kids. Get to know, if you have kids, even if you don't, or you will, or maybe, listen, you could probably have nieces or nephews. Spend time with them. Spend time and get to know these kids, because mental health is real. Mental health is real. So, and I know this pandemic has brought a lot of stress to families, to people. I mean, I'm seeing people getting divorced left and right. Celebrities, from Bill Gates, what's his name, Jeff Bezos. Look what happened to Kim and Kanye. People are getting, I know it's celebrities, but and there's people that's not. Random. I have Facebook friends that are random that are getting divorced, two probably in the last 4 or 5 months. It's tough out there, folks. It's really tough out there. But there is light at the end of the tunnel. We're seeing the light. Things are starting to open up. But again, as we open up more, I can tell you right now, me and my family, we plan on taking two to three trips by the end of this year. So from August to December, we're going to be pretty busy between work, business, growing, ThinkGen Wealth, my new financial services company. Just to let you know, a little plug, I do credit repair, notary services. So hit me up on the Estimo.com. The Amir Estimo on Instagram. Hit me up on the Amir Estimo on Instagram. I plan on getting a website. Just a matter of finding the time, folks. And I prefer to find somebody that can build it, because quite frankly, I really just don't have that much time to. It's not that I couldn't do it, but it's the timing that you have to put into that. I could be creating content for this podcast. I'm growing the YouTube channel, so I will be recording some content on my YouTube channel, ThinkGen Wealth. So check it out. So I'm going to drop some content probably later on this week, as this show is recorded May 25th. So expect to see some content. I'll probably do something along the lines, drop the content, drop the YouTube and the podcast on the same day, or drop the YouTube on Friday, and then drop the podcast on Wednesday. Definitely, I don't know yet. Or I might just do both at the same time. So if you see both at the same time, just know the YouTube content and the podcast will be released. So, anywho, thank you very much for listening to this podcast. Thank you. So for the new season 3, stay tuned. The first episode I'm going to record is about cryptocurrency. Okay? I'm going to record a show about cryptocurrency, Bitcoin, and so on. So if you don't know about what is crypto, you don't know what is Bitcoin, Dogecoin, all these coins that are out there, tune into the next episode. And then so that'll put us at episode 41. We're going to talk about credit. So the next 2 episodes are going to be cryptocurrency and credit, the importance of credit and cryptocurrency. Okay. So crypto, credit, those are the next 2 episodes, just to give you guys an insight. So stay tuned, folks. And you could be doing anything in this world, but the fact that you're taking the time to listen to this podcast, I appreciate it. Much love and peace.